Dear YouTube video friends and viewers. Today's subject is creative writing. What is creative writing? First of all, please subscribe to my channel, let you know my new videos. What is being creative and also creative writing? As you know, in fact, everybody can write, but how to tell something to readers and people need creativity. Let's talk about creative writing. Like all technology, new tools are built on the foundation of the ones that came from them. Let's take a quick journey through the history of creative writing tools so that we can evaluate modern creative writing tools in historical context. Oral storytelling. Originally, stories were passed from generation to generation through oral storytelling traditions. In these traditions, the primary writing tool was the storyteller's memory and voice, though stories were often augmented by instruments and dance. Stories were imbued with the personality of the teller and took on color in the creative exchange with the audience. Stories evolved over time through the retelling. They improved, were embellished, or were transferred into myth and legend. The written word. It wasn't until recently, with the invention of the written word, archaeologists place its formation around 3000s and 200s before Christ, depending on location, that we started writing stories down. This is where the story of creative writing really begins. Some of the earliest examples of written stories in the Western tradition are the Bible and Homer's Odyssey, in the Eastern tradition, and Indian Vedas and Sanskrit poems in Central America, the Mayan Codex. It's likely that many of these early texts were simply being described from the oral tradition. The legend that Homer was blind, whether it's true or not, gives us a symbolic link connecting the oral and written storytelling traditions. In any case, storytellers started writing their stories down. Once that happened, the process of creative writing evolved. Instead of telling and retelling stories orally and making them better over time, written language gave storytellers the ability to tell themselves the story over and over again using a drafting process. It gave them a way to record more stories by providing them a physical extension of their memory, ink and paper. The art of writing was an esoteric discipline for a long time. At first, only monks and the rich and educated classes were taught how to write. Inks and quills were expensive. Paper was hard to come by and difficult to make. Word literacy skyrocketed in the second half of the 20th century. As late as 1950, word literacy was estimated at a mere 36%. Today, 83% of people can read and write. The printing press. Apart from the expense of writing in ancient times, many obstacles to distribution had to be surmounted. The Bible is an example of a collection of stories that found early success and popularity, but the access was limited. Bibles were copied out by hand and manually bound. These labors process continued for several hundred years, until Gutenberg came along in 1450 and invented the printing press. Though it was not the first printing press, the Chinese are often given credit for inventing the first movable type. It changed. Today, there are many creative writing classes, especially in Europe, Canada, especially in the United States. But in Turkey, especially creative writing courses started to give classes new. Why new? Because Turkey's reading people rate is weak. People usually don't read. They usually prefer watch. In any case, storyteller started writing their stories down. Once that happened, the process of creating writing evolved. Instead of telling and retelling stories orally and making them better over time, written language gave storytellers the ability to tell themselves the story over and over again using a drafting process. It gave them a way to record more stories by providing them as a physical extension of their memory, ink and paper. The art of writing was an esoteric discipline for a long time. At first, only monks and the rich and educated classes were taught how to write. Inks and quills were expensive. Paper was hard to come by and difficult to make. World literacy skyrocketed in the second half of the 20th century. As late as 1950, world literacy was estimated at a mere 36%. Today, 83% of people can read and write. The printing press. Apart from the expense of writing in ancient times, many obstacles to distribution had to be surmounted. The Bible is an example of a collection of stories that found early success and popularity. But access was limited. Bibles were copied out by hand, manually bound. This laborious process continued for several hundred years, until Gutenberg came along in 1450 and invented the printing press. Though it was not the first printing press, the Chinese are often given credit for inventing the first movable type, İÇİN. In these traditions, the primary writing tool was the storyteller's memory and voice. Those stories were often augmented by instruments and dance. Stories were imbibed with the personality of the teller and took on color in creative exchange with the audience. Originally, stories were passed from generation to generation through oral storytelling traditions. Like all technology, new tools are built on the foundation of the ones that came from before them. Let's take a quick journey through the history of creative writing tools so that we can evaluate modern creative writing tools in a historical context. Today, there are hundreds of new programs, especially about creative writing. It takes, I think, 2 months, maybe 4 months. In America, as new Turkish liras, it costs us 100 million for month course. In Turkey, it's cheap for creative writing courses, especially. You can go to especially municipalities courses. You can go to especially special courses for creative writing courses. In creative writing courses for students, the teachers teach how to write novel, novella, and poem, and article, and also thesis, short stories, short writing for broadcast for television, especially. Yes. Like all technology, new tools are built on the foundation of the ones that came before them. You can also watch creative writing classes on YouTube, also on internet, also on Google. You can read creative writing articles on Google, especially. You can read books about creative writing courses. You can take online classes for creative writing courses. First of all, you should start to write by diary, because if you tell your daily events, as story, you can improve your writing, and especially you can improve your creative writing. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to my channel, let you know my new videos. Thank you.